All right, so I am working on the John Deere 14T baler again. Uh, Today we're going to get rid of replace what's called the Tucker arms or the Tucker fingers, whatever you'd like to call them. I think the proper term actually is Tucker fingers, which is what this and this are. They're going to have two of them on a square baler, and what it does is as the needles come up through the hay to do a knot up here to feed the string the whole 9 yards up here. These will come in once the actuator gets activated, which is right here, and you see how it moves. What that does is that grabs the string, pulls it tight, pulls it at an angle to where this can all work together to make the knot correctly. If you have a loose one of these, what winds up happening is you'll also have a lot of bales that won't tie correctly, things of that nature. Sometimes it'll rip the string. I've seen them, get really sharp on the fingers somehow. Mine on the left side works perfectly. There's hardly any play in that. But then when I go over here, see if I can show it. I mean, you can hear it's just been retrofitted nonstop. It's super loose. There's too much play, and that play alone can affect the knots severely, especially when it's not tight. And like as I'm pushing it, there's still pressure, and it's super low. Oh, in fact, it just came off right there. So there you go. That needs to be replaced. And this one's still super. Oh no, this one comes off too. So I've been getting lucky, I guess, with that one. But anyway, they're both pretty loose, so we got to replace them. So I'm going to take this all apart and show you how to do it, and I'll explain why I'm doing it. And yeah, here we go. I'm replacing it today with a green baler parts part. They made their own custom part. It's almost identical to the John Deere 14T original baler part. It's slightly different. These are a different mechanism than what you got on these, but it's supposed to fit up in there like this. And as these push back, they're at an angle to help it push easier, and it spins and grabs the string like it's supposed to, or twine, whatever you want to call it. And they're super rounded. They're not straight edge. It's all nice, and it's been powder coated. It's a pretty good part from what I've been told. And obviously, you'll have to probably tighten certain things up. Yeah, we're gonna have to disconnect two bolts right here and here. They're connected to the top frame of the bale chute. You disconnect these. These are what give it the pivot point for the knives to actually do what they're supposed to do. They're the finger, excuse me. And this goes towards the bale counter. This one still has a bale counter on it. And this little E pin, whatever you want to call it, when it comes backwards, it just clicks it just enough to where it activates the counter back here, so you can see how many you've got instead of having to count them. So I'm going to take it apart now, and I'll let you guys see that. All right, there's the old one. It's super loose, which is good. It's been wore down over time. This one is extremely stiff. It turns, and the bearing's still good in it. It's really not even a bearing, it's just a shaft, and this roller rolls on it. There's not really any tension on it. This has been welded on and picked apart and hammered on. It will have spacers when you put the new ones on, which Green Baler Parts provides you with a new spring and spacers the whole 9 yards. Well, I don't have to reuse old equipment like I hate doing. Just thinking about it makes me mad. In fact, this is so fused on there that these aren't even wanting to come off, so which is good. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other side. These are imperative that you put back on because there's no bolts, there's no nothing. It fits between. There's a slot right here underneath it that it fits in, and there's another slot right here. And the tension of the cams down here are what hold it in place. So you have to, when you take this out, you got to take off some springs. I took off two big springs and a small one, and I took out two bolts that hold this down right here and right here. And so I can just jimmy it out just enough. And you shouldn't have to take off the whole cam. You shouldn't have to take it all apart back here. I did loosen it up a little bit with one of my that when a bale comes through here, it pushes it up enough, and that's also what actuates it and releases pressure and stuff as well. But anyway, I had to loosen up the back shaft here a little bit, and now it's out. So now I'm going to put the new one back on. These are just called the finger tuckers. But before I do that, I got to remove the old ones right here and here. So I'll show you what it looks like there. Give me 1 second. Here's the old one. Ooh, it didn't have an internal spacer. Well, that sucks. I lost the other one, but we'll be all right. So you can see that this has a pin up here. You pull the cotter pin out, and this comes out. It's got a tensioner. Somebody didn't want to do all that, so they just spot welded this back together just for the welds to hold. I've seen that done a lot, but it doesn't work out. And this is technically still a good one, but you can see that it's slowly starting to come apart anyway, and it's starting to really get kind of wore out. It's hollow. It kind of warps it, and it kind of hollows out the edges to where eventually it'll just pop out loosely. So this style, I don't want to get it out, is designed not to do that. They last a lot longer. They still wear out, obviously, but it takes a lot longer for it to work out. So then I got to put these back in. Easiest way for you to do it is to put these in last. So I'm going to open up my bag of goodies here, start putting my shims and everything, and the springs, and okay. Hopefully I got 12 of them. If not, I might have to use some shims. 1, 2, oh, they're all different sizes. Oh, dag nabbit. Okay. But I'll tell you what I can do is I'll line up the thickness of the old shims with the new shims. How about that? So and one shim off here. Let's see if this fits. Yep, I'd say that's a good fit. So this goes on the roller side, and I'm gonna do the other side. And it looks like I am severely short on shims. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take some off. Okay. So now I got to try wiggling these off. That really sucks. I hate having to reuse old hardware. All right, I got to get these loose. I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. So I got the same shim thickness. So I'm going to try. Gosh, this is going to be difficult with these parts dangling. All right, let's see if I can kind of get it on in there. Right there. This is a carriage bolt, so it fits in a square groove. When it fits in the square groove, it stops it from spinning. Okay. See if I can get my fingers up in there. Now, since they're both on, one of the things that I wanted to show you guys was the fingers need to be tightened. This is the tensioner bolt, and this is what you line up both sides. They pretty much need to be dead even. But anyway, you can see how this is all timed out and cammed out. So as the needles come up, they come up, I believe, right through here, And there's a needle that kind of looks like this, the bottom, and it comes up. When it comes up behind this, but the string is in front, and it grabs it and grabs the string, and it pretty much ties it between the frame and that, so the knife that we replaced in a previous video can come through and cut it. And if it all works together, it should go back just like that. So that's how you replace those. And all the springs need to be put back in place. You got a spring there, you got a spring here, and you got another spring way back here that they all need to be tight, and they all need to be in the correct place. And I got to tighten these down again, but I got to make sure they're also, like, do you see how that one's kind of got a slot, a little bit of a slot showing, and then this side's got a lot more that needs to be fixed immediately, and they need to be lined up. So, and you see how these, that's not supposed to move at all. Same with that one. So we're going to fix that real quick. And once you get them lined up, that one, there's nothing showing. The nut looks exactly like this one. If I move the brush out of the way, you pretty much line up on both sides. You usually get a tape measure and measure this flat edge to about the bottom of this, but other than that, it's rounded. Now when you do it, it stays in place. There you go. Too easy. And I got the new shims there. There's where the shim goes, and the new shims go right there. And I had to reuse some of the old ones because it didn't give me just enough, but there's not supposed to be any play in this at all. Same, this will have play in it, but it's not like what it was before. If you can see, if I'm pushing up and down, there's no lateral. It's just up and down like that, which is fine. That's what these are designed for. They're designed to go all over the place. It reduces the wear in a lateral position. However, I just caught something. This being a brand new part, this is locked into place, but if I go over here, I can move this rod a bit. This one's a lot more loose. That's actually a little bit alarming here. Oh, you know what? That might be why, because I didn't tighten it down all the way. You gotta make sure it's tight. So, okay. So what I'm gonna attempt to try showing you guys is how the needles on the bottom of the baler work with the finger tuckers, with the knives, which that's still kind of loose, which that's not really a fan of how loose those knives are, but it should cut enough since it's sharp enough. And the billet hooks in the whole 9 yards. So I think, so this is the actuator, the activator for the needles for the whole cam to work out correctly. You cannot activate it while it's up like this, so break something. So I'm gonna try bringing these down without slamming my fingers into oblivion. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta get the gear over here. Okay, so this is where the needlers, or the needle, excuse me, not needlers, the needles, there's 2 needles that come up underneath through the hay up into the knotters. They come in this chute here and this chute here. They everything happens at once to make this knot, to make it really quick, because then you also have a plunger further back that you don't want the plunger slamming into the needles and bending or breaking them. So how this works is the needles come up, the swiper arm comes down after this cam here twists and makes the knot. The swiper arms that we replaced in an earlier video will come down, cut, do a nice clean cut, and these fingers down here, the twine fingers that grab, it will stabilize and tension up the string, allowing a nice clean cut. It all works together precisely. You gotta make sure it's in time. So this will come down like that, and it should shoot back pretty quickly. I probably have to definitely grease and oil underneath it pretty quickly. Just kind of get used to rubbing out again. Okay, so I'm going to activate the, so this would be a new bale. It comes down. You can, for my John Deere 14T, some of them didn't have it. You can make the bale shorter or longer with these bolts and nuts here. If these fingers are taller, you get, you know, there's 3 slots on each side here. but you have to increase the bale size, you just make them taller, and to decrease it, you make these teeth shorter. So as it's going on a shorter cycle, it just quickly does it. So then this will get activated. You'll hear it click here. That releases the safety switch back here. Okay, it's released. As it's, going, we'll just kind of go a little bit further like that. It's pushed all the way forward. The flywheel turns. And the fingers are just grazing underneath the needles. So this one's a lot closer to the needle than this one. It should, however, work correctly. The needles come up, and you pretty much want to look at them, and they are definitely out of alignment. This one's also out of alignment. If I had a perfectly, well, this might work for an example. So say this is the edge, which that's not really a good example either. I don't have anything long that would actually, well, I might. Okay, so you can kind of see if I put it underneath it, that it's definitely about 1/2 inch difference, maybe 3/4 of an inch difference, which can definitely affect the bale tying as well. These fingers just barely need to be touching, just in front of these needles, just to be able to make sure it grabs with the little hook on the end of the fingers, grabs it, tensions it up underneath here, it twists it all. As the needle comes down, it releases it. And it's released. Now we'll just keep spinning infinitely until we get another actuating, and once it does that, then boom, it'll actuate again, which it's already right there. So nothing hit really hard, nothing grounded, which is good. That means we lined everything up correctly. I got to put the safety and the rocker arm correct back where it's at, but anyway, or the actuator arm. But everything seemed like it worked great. I got to line up those needle pretty, I got to line up the needles. The needles are severely far off from each other. If they're within 1/4 inch of where it needs to be, you should be fine. I think my main problem was my finger being super loose and my blade, my swiper arm not being sharp. Those two combinations definitely made this have to work a lot harder than it should have. So I'm going to activate it one more time. No, I'm going to push it. There we go. There it goes. My fingers are in front of the needles, so they're not slamming, the needle's not slamming up into the finger. It's not in the way of the finger, so it won't warp it. Okay, they're both stuck in the middle where they're supposed to be. I got some play. The shims aren't perfect, but they should work. It's not enough to really affect the performance. It's got maybe a 30-second to play. It should be fine. Really, for a lot of the stuff, you don't want to have more than about a 1/16 to 1/8 inch of play. Really, 1/8 inch is way too much, but 1/16 maximum. So yeah, those are the finger replacement. Pretty simple.